Oh, I guess I will run it, because there is another good thing in here. So this is an interesting line which you should make a note of. Set server output on. Yet another set tonight. We've done time and timing. Now we do server output. So that's SQL Plus. What does that do? And the answer is that if you don't set server output on, then you can't do output from inside a PLSQL block. So, if I can drag it down and point a little bit, without that, I can't do this. And that's annoying, because sometimes you're not in a terrific position to set server output on. You know, you're running something, you're running a function, you'd like to be able to use that in, yeah, right. Does the person using your function, is he smart enough to type set server out? It can be annoying. But without server output being on, then this inside the block output line doesn't work. So let me tell you about the pros and cons. If you remember down here, we could do SQL plus print, and it worked. And what did I do? I said print MoSal. Okay. Now, if you're more clever or more lucky than me, you might be able to get print to do something fancier than print MoSal. But that's about all I can get it to do, is to print one bloody variable value at a time. I can't get it to say the monthly salary is, and then say 20,000. It's just going to say 20,000. It's a miserable output facility. Whereas what we're doing here inside the block is a good output facility. It can do what you can do in Java with system.out.println, or in C or C++ or whatever, you know, all right. You can do the kind of output you're used to. And it looks, you know, Oracle-ish. We can do the usual concatenation thing inside there. We can invoke functions in the middle. Okay. So we're going to print out monthly salary. We've, you know, have a new variable name for it. We have new variable names in here. And cval, which is a constant of -10. Okay. So we'll see how our interpreter does when we run this, but you know, it's been doing good tonight. So the important thing in here is various things. Constant is minor importance. Set server output on is necessary to remember as a technicality, so you can do dbms output.putLine. Okay. So what is dbms output? DBMS output. What is DBMS output? Putline is a function in a package of functions or procedures called DBMS output. This is a predefined system package. And Oracle has various predefined system packages. And the only one that we look at much in this course is this one, DBMS output. All right? But they have another one called something like DBS random or something. It has random number functions in it. They've got a bunch of packages, all of which start with DBMS underscore something. Okay. So what you're invoking is a system package named DBMS output and a function therein called putline. And then we'll see how these guys do with that. But they've been, they've done everything we've asked them so far tonight, and I haven't rehearsed. So we'll see what happens when I run this. So we'll go to the terminal and we'll try start. So PLSQL2. And something I can figure out easily. Yeah, there's 4 zeros. All right, old value, new value, typical for accept prompt. The monthly salary is 100,000 and your value is 10,000 rather. And your value to us is -10. That was our constant. Okay? So all that DBMS output dot put line stuff worked. It's an acceptable output facility. All right. So I can save this. This is a file somewhere. I can run it anytime I want, and get this function to execute. Okay. Moving right along as fast as we can. Some of my files aren't that brilliant, but I don't remember which ones are stupid, so we'll look at them all. Okay, this one is not useful. So we'll just do the whole drill again, and we'll go after PLSQL4. Thank you very much. All right, this is an important one. Server output on, yeah, all right. The interesting stuff here is between declare and begin. Emp name. What's the type of emp name? And the answer is emp of o2.e name percent type. Yeah. Okay. This is a fairly simple syntax for a very nice feature. Percent type means same type as. Now that's a really nice feature. So it says that emp name, my local variable, has exactly the same type as the ename column in the employee table. Percent type means same type as what just came before me. All right. Now, again, this is where, I would like to write on the screen with my marker pens that I brought and haven't used much. The name for this kind of declare is anchored type, as in the as in the Navy term, anchors away. ANCHORED, anchored. And you can see why that's a nice name. The type of ename is anchored, permanently bound to a type in the employee table. They are tightly coupled. Okay. And they truly are tightly coupled. If I now go to the employee table and I change the type of whatever this field is, ename, this program will still think it's exactly the same type as the new type in the ename in the employee table. All right? And that means we never have to worry again. I probably want it to be anchored to that type, even if the system programmer changes the type slightly overnight so that he can hire Balasubramanian. And I'll be anchored to the new type with the longer field width.
This declare is called anchor declare.
Pardon?
This declare type is called.
Percent type is a feature that is
No.
called an anchored type.
Anchor type in this declare block. Is that what you said?
In general, what the suffix percent type is referred to as an anchored type.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as a way, and it's a nice way to remember it. All right? There's no syntax with the word anchor in it. All right, so I have three anchor types for e-name, boss, and sale, and I'm giving them different local names in the PLSQL block so that it's not confusing. Okay? And now we come down to the next thing that's important. So this is a really pretty nifty example. Select emp.ename, emp.boss, emp.sale. I'm assuming the table is called emp, or that emp is an alias now. I should have uploaded a slightly different version. So assume that emp is the right. Where does emp come from? Maybe this is just bad code. It's regarded as an alias. Okay. Employee, it should be emp Bubba 02, right. And I'm going to put it into these local variables, and there's a keyword in here that we don't normally have, and the keyword is into. So we are selecting emp.ename, emp.boss, and emp.sale, and I think I still have emp as either a synonym or an alias, so this will probably work. Oh, here it is. Here's the alias is down here. It's in the front clause. All right, in that case, I'm good. And it doesn't matter. Where empno is bigger than 797, we don't have any employee numbers with empno bigger than 797. Lasorda is 735. We might have a higher empno than that, but there's no 797 according to my memory. So from our point of view, this is bad code. And I'm very curious to see what the interpreter does. And then we're going to modify the code. All right. And then dbMouse output yo works for yo and makes ya. Okay, so we want to try to run this. But here's the important thing to make a note of. When you embed a select in a PLSQL block, you must use the into modifier. And of course, the purpose of that is to move from fields in the table to variables in the block. Okay? So you're reading columns in the table and putting the values into variables in the block. And that requires the syntax select into. Yay! And now, before I demonstrate this, I think I'm going to give away the surprise. Oracle, when you execute select into, wants you to retrieve precisely one row's worth of data. If you retrieve no rows, it's offended. Oracle becomes offended. If you retrieve more than one row, Oracle becomes offended. It's the programmer's responsibility to write the code to bring back precisely one row. So what I would normally do here is say something like where empno equals 735, and I'd get back Lasorda. And that's cool, because he's precisely one guy. Okay? All right. So we're going to try this with bigger than 797. I don't think there is anybody bigger than 797. I don't think there's a 799. And if there isn't, next time I'll make it 800. If there is. All right, so I want to try to run this. So we go back to the terminal, and we're going to say start. PLSQL, was it 4? It was 4, right? Thank you. Error at line 1. It was offended. Okay? And I guess there were numbers bigger than 797. Exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. That's when it says when it thinks it found more than 1. Okay? Back in the good days when I started teaching this class, it didn't say exact fetch returns more than requested number of the rows. It said too many rows. I miss the old days. Too many rows is, shorter and sweeter. But this is what it says now. And what it's trying to tell us is that, we return more than 1 row. Okay, now I'm going to try to do something to return 0. Let's do equals. Was that an equal sign? There's an equal sign. And we're going to say, I don't know, 665, because I don't think there's a 665. My odds of hitting a real person are small. Okay? And we're going to see what happens when I run this. Back to terminal. And here we go again. Start PLSQL4. Nice try, huh?
Looks like you didn't
I
say,
think
you
we
didn't
can
say
say that.
SQL.
It should say something. I've got a DBMS output put line in there. It's still getting me, thinks it's getting more than 1.
Maybe you have to
You didn't say
say.
this
Save it.
change.
What's that?
You
Oh, I
didn't say
didn't. I
this
didn't
change.
do save. Okay, back up to this. We've got. Yeah, I was being optimistic. Equals 665. Save file. All right. Let's see if that helps. Back to terminal. I wish I could hit the up arrow.
You're not typing.
No, we're not, it's not listening to me. Start, that time it was start. Start.
Yeah.
PLSQL. 4, maybe. No data found. The save was necessary. And it worked. Okay, that's the same message it was 10 years ago. All right, it used to be no data found, too many rows. Now it's no data found, exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. I don't usually ask for that on quizzes. What is the output of this? All right, let's do one where it works, just to be convinced that it's possible to get it to work. Here we go. So this time we'll do 735 and we'll try to get Lasorda. Save. Yay. Terminal. Click. Start.
You spelled spot wrong.
What's that?
It's misspelled.
Yeah, you spelled
Oh,
it.
it doesn't look as good as it did from back here. It looked good. And there it is, Lasorda. Okay, so we've tried this all the ways I said we should try it. Returning 0 rows, error message. Returning more than 1 row, error message. Returning 1 row, hunky-dory. Okay? And the thing to remember is select into. And now, we can stop.